So, before I even start this video, I don't know if, probably shit doesn't look that much different. Background's different. I finally got my new place. Finally gonna situated. I got most of my things over here. I'm very excited because not only am I getting situated in my new place, I'm getting everything set up so that way I can start streaming again because I really miss streaming and playing games. It really does do something to me when you're not able to play games for 2 months. Like, I do play games every now and then. It's just not like the way that I want to, where it's online with friends or even certain games, and then being able to keep up with everything, because 2 months of just hotspot using, bro, it sucks. But anyway, with that being said, I did get my new place. I'm super excited because it's just stepping stones for me in my life. Mostly just because I wanted to have my own place, and two, just because now I have my own space. Now things are going to be a lot different. Things are going to be, changed, adjusted, and it's going to be for the better. So that being said, welcome to my first video in my new crib. The topic today is aliens. And so obviously by the title, you guys read the title, the topic of today will be the White House documents the documents that the White House released revolving around aliens. And so, quick disclaimer before I even move forward with anything. I might as well just say it now. From what we know of, in case you really do want to stay in the video and learn everything, what we know of so far pretty much confirms no extraterrestrial life. None of what we have right now, from what the documents say, confirm any extraterrestrial life or aliens. So if you're really here for me to talk about fucking aliens and extraterrestrial life, which it is the subject, it's just that the White House released these documents, and I'm going to go through all of it throughout this video, but just that way none of y'all are disappointed. There is no confirmation of extraterrestrial life. So how is that possible? How are we getting alien documents from the White House if there's no extraterrestrial life? Now, I'm not saying there isn't. I'm not saying that, like, we're not going to have some documents that say that, but from what we have so far, it doesn't really allude to there being aliens or extraterrestrial life. So we'll go through the documents, we'll go through some of them, and then I'll just kind of explain everything, and then we'll go from there. So a couple days ago, if not yesterday, the White House released a couple documents pertaining to aliens and what we know, or what they know so far pertaining to such. Now, if you don't know what a fucking alien is or an extraterrestrial life form is, then I feel sorry for you, and I don't think I'm going to sit here and explain it to you. But we've been waiting, wanting everything under the sun when it comes to aliens and our government, and just the secrecy beyond that. Area 51, anything that pertains to aliens, the public has just been having a very hard eye when it comes to paying close attention to what we know so far with aliens, especially our government, because when it comes to anything that the public doesn't know or we don't know of yet, of course the government's going to be the one to know it before any of us do. In fact, most governments and our government usually have things that are like years beyond what we have, and so it's nothing new when it comes to the government having these capabilities and having this stuff and this information, withheld from the public. And so they finally released some documents that were to kind of talk about the things that some of these astronauts and some of these pilots have witnessed and experienced. And so far, again, like I reiterated, that it doesn't really allude there to be, or confirm, it doesn't confirm or verify extraterrestrial life. And so we'll go through some of it. Not too much got released, but just enough to where I want to make a video on it. And I have so many videos I want to make, especially with the hantavirus. I want to make a video on that and explain a little bit of that because that's been kind of popular. But yeah, so what new documents did we get? What is it about? What's the contents of it? Did we even see aliens? What's going on? And so the first bit of documents that I want to talk about is the Apollo missions transcripts. And so Apollo 17, obviously, when they went into space, they had a couple astronauts on board that were recording a lot of instances and scenarios, situations where they believe they saw extraterrestrial life, anomalies, whatever else you want to call it. And so recently with Apollo 17, they had transcripts describing, light particles, movement outside of their craft being able to be seen. And so on top of that, astronaut Ronald Evans, again, he described there being moving objects outside of the ship. And so with that, and then the lunar imagery that they saw with showing weird anomalies, triangle-shaped anomalies on the moon's surface. And so Again, it's just most of this information that we've seen or we have gotten so far, it doesn't really verify extraterrestrial life. It's just like abnormalities, basically, like little things where it's like, this seems weird or this is kind of odd. And so that seems like what it really seems to be so far is not really the confirmation of extraterrestrial life, but a kind of a rabbit hole entrance to be like, this is what we've seen so far and gathered data-wise when it comes to anomalies that could be maybe attached as extraterrestrials. And so like with the Apollo 17 transcripts and that information, again, doesn't confirm extraterrestrial life. It just confirms that they saw some things, some light flickerings and some movement outside their spacecraft, which could easily be explainable with stars moving, shooting stars. Space is a huge thing that is just constantly just doing and growing. And so when it comes to space and being in space, you're probably going to see movement and you're probably going to see flickering lights in different areas, because when you're on Earth, you don't get to see so much of like your solid, you don't get to see too much of the stars, the formations, and it changing. But when you're in space and you're literally off from the planet and you get to see most of the stars without the cut off of the planet below you, and you only get to see whatever, they get to see a lot more than we do. So of course with that, it would make sense that they see flickering lights, the occasional shooting stars every now and then, or just whatever they're looking at. They get to see a lot more than we do in a different capacity than we do, because we also have the Earth's atmosphere to kind of condense it a little bit. Not to say, the Earth's atmosphere is completely removing stars, but light pollution, Earth's atmosphere, there are some things that can hinder the ability for us to see stars in space in a more effective way than they did on the Apollo. And so other sightings beyond space have been captured. We've had pilots and we've had military and pilot encounters that have described or even alluded there being some weird spacecrafts. And most of the recent ones has been from drone operators, where they described disc-shaped spacecraft, cigar-shaped spacecrafts, the pencil, like certain weird spacecraft or whatever crafts to be some type of whatever. And so they're different shaped. And so the reason I'm saying craft is because some of them have actually been caught moving around in ways that aren't really consistent with what we know of and what we can do in our capabilities. So some drone operators, some pilots have seen some of these where it's been quote unquote like orbs launching other orbs, lights maneuvering in ways that were difficult to explain conventionally. Of course, certain objects appearing and disappearing randomly. And then the only other thing we have is from 2023, where the FBI sketched where it was a large metallic object emerging from a bright light and then just vanishing instantly. There's just some little weird instances where we have a lot of data conflated with that, but unfortunately none of it really, confirms the extraterrestrial life, unfortunately. But it's still very interesting to see what data we've collected so far, even though it's not all of it, just some of it, what we've collected so far to show what we know of and what we've come across and had experiences with aliens, extraterrestrial life, anomalies. So I think stuff like that is kind of cool, because at the end of the day, as a Christian, my complete take on this might be a hot take, is I don't believe in aliens. I don't think there are aliens. Now, if I do believe that there could be capabilities of aliens, I mean, with the infinite amount of possibilities, planets and stuff out there, of course it would make sense that there are aliens. I would genuinely believe that there are aliens. My only problem is, from a Christian standpoint, when you're looking at our purpose in life and what we're made for, I don't see why God has it in him to be making other creatures and entities that why is he going to have Jesus, God, the Son of God, Jesus, come to one planet and his focus being on one planet and not most other planets? And so of course my answer to that would be because there's only life here on Earth and he's focused on that. There could be life on other planets, and I really don't want to be taken away from I don't think there couldn't be. I genuinely would believe that there could be other aliens on other planets, and the possibility of that from our universe and how it can sustain and hospitalize. I don't even know the word. Be habitable. I'm trying to think of the other word from it. Just being habitable as a planet. There's definitely no way there's not other planets that can do that. It can sustain life. So, I believe from a Like, I do genuinely believe that there could be the existence of aliens if we weren't the most important things in the universe to God. So unfortunately, with my take, I don't believe there are aliens, although I wouldn't be against the possibility of aliens existing, as life can most likely do that. It's just that with theologically inclined, I just don't think it's possible, especially from a Christianity standpoint. But space is very vast, it's curious, it's interesting, and there's a lot of things we don't know. And the craziest part is we don't know as much of the universe as we don't know as much of our own seas and our own waters. We have a lot of things that we don't know what's going on in our oceans, deep in the waters. There's actually, apparently we don't know as much of our own oceans as we do with space. Or if I remember correctly, we know more about space than we do our own waters. So crazy how we get to live, grow, experience, and learn, and take in all this new data and all this new stuff that comes along with growing and living. And so when it comes to space, extraterrestrial life, here's gonna be the kicker. I do believe in aliens, but not in the way that we traditionally are taught to understand aliens. I don't believe in extraterrestrial life from interplanetary travel and other planets having and hospitalizing that. I believe what it could be in aliens is demonic fallen angel figures that coincide with our planet and our people. And so they have an influence to why we understand them or take them as aliens. So I could go on about that, but that would be my take on that. But yeah, a lot of interesting stuff coming from the White House. Nothing too like grand or verifiable to where it's like White House confirmed aliens. I wish I could say that, but unfortunately that's not the case. And so I think I already elaborated on, but the only other thing is just the moon surface pictures from Apollo 12. There is just apparently some identified, phenomenon that has happened on the planet or on the. Bro, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I'm like trying to wing this entire video and then I just keep folding over myself. Apparently there's been unidentified phenomenon on the moon, and so I don't know what it was specifically we captured or they saw. Again, lens flare, debris, certain stuff to where we don't know, it's not verifiable, it's just that we see it and we just try to identify it and label it as alien. So that's about it. I mean, there's some other data. You could probably go on the White House website and find the link in the website, or yeah, just a link to those documents if you want to. I may probably not have expound on it as much as some others have, or what we have from those documents, but I kind of want to just cover what we know so far and the more interesting sides of it, because again, White House released alien documents. It's super interesting to see, and some videos are going to elaborate on it. I wanted to at least be the first to say that like it doesn't confirm there's aliens, but at the same time it's interesting how they elaborate on the suspicion of aliens. So lights, yeah, that's about it. Again, thank you and every single one of you guys that do come by these videos to like, subscribe, comment. Just take time out of your day to just stop by. It does mean a lot. I'm really trying to move forward with making this a channel, a more sustainable channel where there's more content and it can start doing more things outside of just being stagnant with just whatever. Like for the past couple years, my channel has just been very stagnant and it hasn't really been doing a whole lot, and I really want to push it to where that's not the case anymore and actually has there be some motion with my channel, because at the end of the day, YouTube is super awesome. The communion, being able to have a space to where we get to come together, learn, grow. I think it's super awesome, and I want to be a part of that space in a way that's meaningful to me and of course you guys. So when I make this content, it's really like I'm going to trade y'all some information. You may care, you may not care, and trade you for your attention. Maybe possibly like, subscribe, who knows? But again, all of it at the end of the day, it's because of you guys. I love you guys. I want to do this because I'm passionate about stuff when it comes to YouTube. I've been for the past 10 years. Unironically, I started the channel on April 1st of 2016. And ever since then, I've been just trying to pivot, move, establish, see where I want to be on the YouTube space, the YouTube side of things. So aside of everything in my personal life, I'm going to make sure everything's good. I'm going to try my best to make sure I can supply some content for you guys. And so that starts today. I've got my new place. I'm super excited. That means that in the future, we're going to start moving forward with streaming, gaming content. And of course, I'm going to try to do my daily, if not every other day, commentary videos. So tomorrow will be The Return of Resident Evil Requiem. I have not finished that, but I'm excited to start back on that shit. That game is so good. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to finish the game, so I'm gonna do that. So again, I love every single one of you guys. Thank you guys so much for stopping by the video. Next video, I'm gonna probably talk about the hantavirus. So with that being said, I love you guys.